we did some minor things, and we got great feedback from our firefighters. They're like, I actually feel my body healing because I'm getting my quality of sleep is better. And it went because we had an open dorm room. Now we have individual bunk rooms, implemented a night dispatch where, people aren't waking up all the time with every other station going out on calls and stuff like that. And the results are pretty huge. We had a very senior guy say that was the um, biggest impact that he's seen on himself in his entire career. And I mean,
Wow.
that's pretty huge when you got a guy that's a 30-year guy telling you that. And it was simple, low cost stuff that we were trying to do. And um, it has a real impact on people.
So I think again, I really do feel it's a sign of this slipping standard and the kind of people that would go through the crucible that it took to get hired when it was competitive. Those people still exist, but also there's another group of people that don't get it. And now they're becoming the opposition to the very things that we're trying to do to change the fire service that ultimately, I guess in theory, would result in them have never being hired in the first place. If I'm going to be completely honest, we all know that some people get on the job and then scurry up that promotional ladder as fast as they can to get away from the fire ground, and now they're slamming their little hand on the desk. So, it's just reconnecting with why the hell do we put the uniform on the first place? It's to be an asset to our community, to be there when someone's having their worst day, whether it's a structure fire or some, homeless gentleman that everyone else has stepped over all day and you've just simply been kind to. That's why we're there. And if you are opposing the things that are not only going to make us better firefighters, but are going to stop the firefighter funerals and keep relationships with children's and marriages intact, and you're part of the opposition, maybe you shouldn't be wearing the uniform. So we've got to really filter out the chaff and find the champions and departments that are going to be the next heroes. Because as I've said, I stood on the shoulders of giants. I wore bunker gear that someone else had brought in. I wore SCBAs. I used defibrillators. I used Hearst tools. That was another generation. I was on a 24-48 that they'd fought for after the 24-24. Now it's my turn to make this even better. And people of my generation that are opposing this, well, I did, I paid my time. No, you didn't. You just rode the freaking sled of someone else's hard work. Now it's your time to step up and be courageous for the next generation.